Where can you see Broadway's brightest light? Last Thursday nights, drunk in a dive, bar nine has dreams, and folks who sings. They're friends with Rye, and he's a Broadway guy. He's your Broadway and entertainment BFF. It's Live with Rye and Friends on Broadway. One day you might see Audra for free if we can give her booking fee. Bar 9 has full. It's always full because of Rye. Oh my God, it's your Broadway and entertainment BFF. It's Live with Rye and Friends on Broadway. He's a bundle of joy and happiness. He loves being here for you. He's a theater nerd who will share a word with a Broadway star or two. Our guests will have you on the floor for fame and empty and many more. Get your vaccine and be on with Rye Myers. The name I am Superfest. Your Broadway and entertainment BFF. It's Live with Rye and
Woo! Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another week of Live with Rye and Friends on Broadway. Yes, keep the applause going. As you heard, that was the debut of my theme song. Thank you to Alyssa Ray from American Idol, who's the singer, and it's written by Jay Brancato and composed by Jeffrey Schmelkin. So it's the new Broad 9 theme song. This is Live with Rye and Friends on Broadway, the only free Broadway talk show here in the heart of Hell's Kitchen. And I'm Rye Myers, your Broadway and entertainment BFF. How's everyone doing? Woo! But keep those applause going because I do want to give a big shout out and thanks to tonight's sponsor, Harvey Fire Scenes. I Was Better last night. Give a round of applause for them. Not Publishing. They've donated 4 books tonight for giveaways. I'm very excited. I cannot wait to give them away. Hello to our friends at home as well. So listen, we play big here at Bar 9. You don't want to miss it. I'm also giving away 4 tickets to a off-Broadway concert as well. So make sure you tip Casey, your bartender tonight, if you're here. Treat her well. She's a doll. And yes, and listen, if you're looking for something to drink, might I recommend the Rye Cocktail, which is named after me. And just for tonight, it is Crown Royale, cranberry juice, peach schnapps, and Sprite. It's very, very good, and it's the Rye Cocktail for $13. So, and with that, let's get on to some Broadway news. As always, I do a little Broadway news segment prior to introducing the guests. Been some big things happening on Broadway. First off, I kind of talk about this every week, but what's really exciting is attendance is getting stronger on Broadway. It's yes, please give a round of applause. That's so important. And recently, 16 of the 22 shows have filled 90% or more of their seats, which are incredible. Now, the one change, and this has been controversial for some people, but the one change is tickets are more expensive now than pre-pandemic. But listen, I'll give you my little insight and take of how to get cheap tickets. There's several ways. You know, if you're looking for premium, sure, it's going to be more expensive. But go to the box office. They sell super cheap tickets for most of these shows between $39 to $79. If you don't mind sitting up in the mezzanine, then you can get a really good seat. There's also the digital lotteries. We all have smartphones. You download the Today Tix app. A lot of these shows have digital lotteries. We can enter at home. And if you win one of the selected days, it's $39 tickets usually, so it's great. And if you're under 30, a lot of these places have 30 under 30 or 30 under 35. And TDF is also a great resource as well. So there's resources. I know a lot of people bitch about ticket pricing, and from somebody who works sort of in that realm, I understand, you know, it being expensive, but there are ways to get around it. And if you find them, definitely get a cheap ticket because it's worth it. So, and some other good news. And this Sunday, obviously, as we all know, is the Oscars. Round of applause for the Oscars. We've got a lot of Broadway love this year at the Oscars. Yeah, it's going to be great. We have Andrew Garfield and Ariana DeBose, who are both nominated. Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom, and Ariana DeBose for West Side Story. Great tie-in for tonight. So I'm very excited. I really hope that Broadway sweeps Tick Tick Boom and West Side Story. I'm sending all my love to them, and so happy to always see Broadway represented at the Tonys, at the Oscars. That's in a few months. Also, another cool thing, Music Man took in about $3.4 million last week after the weekly grosses were announced. And I say that because it's outbeat Hamilton, it outbeat Lion King. What'd you say? Oh, that's all right. This is the first week since reopening that they've released the weekly grosses. So if you're like me and you're curious about how shows are doing or what sort of an average ticket price is like, look at the Broadway grosses every week. It's very interesting. And finally, welcome to Broadway to the following shows. We welcomed American Buffalo, the new revival, back last week. Yes, back this week on Tuesday. That's starring Lawrence Fishburne, Darren Criss, Sam Rockwell. And then on Saturday, we welcome the much anticipated Funny Girl. Very excited for that. Yes, yes. And then on Tuesday, the 29th, wow, there is a lot of shows starting previews. The Little Prince, How I Learned to Drive, Macbeth, and Mr. Saturday Night. So lots of shows, lots of shows. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for tonight's special guest. I'm so excited to have her. You've seen her on Broadway in their most recent revival of West Side Story. If you watched Law & Order, you may have seen her on her TV screens. And if you love music, you need to listen to her album. Please help me welcome the incredible, my special guest, Mia Pinero. Hi, Mia. How are you? Yeah, give another round of applause for her. So we never have enough round of applause. How are you?
I'm doing so well. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. You know what's so funny? With those drinks, when I saw the cup, I said to Jared, what's the new drink? And here apparently the cups changed colors with any liquid. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, it's very cool. I mean, we asked for a water and I was like, woo! And then I had to order one because it just looks too good. I needed this blue drink.
I know. I saw it. I said, what's the new blue drink? I want to try it. But
Living on a Prayer, and I recommend.
Oh.
Great song, great drink.
Great song and great drink. So, well, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. So tell us a little bit about you. How did you get started performing? Was it something that you always wanted to do? Did you find it early in life?
So I don't remember the exact show, but my parents took me to something. It was like a 42nd Street style show. And all I remember was there was star curtains, and I turned to one of them and I was like, I want to do that. I want to be in a star show. And that's what I called it because I didn't know what it was. And I grew up watching all the classics, Sound of Music and Hello Dolly and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, any Rodgers and Hammerstein, all of that. But I didn't really know performing was a possibility. My parents were dentists, and I was kind of on a very academic. Yeah. God, no. Oh my God. But I was thinking, something maybe medical, but I remember my grandmother was like, you can do anything you want. And I love to bake at the time and now. And she was like, you could bake. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could make pies maybe for a living. But it really was, I saw Phantom of the Opera, the movie, and Christine had really curly hair like mine. And I was like, oh my gosh, she sings beautifully. She has curly hair. I want to do that. And so I started taking voice lessons. Was in my first musical, Dear Edwina Jr. in 7th grade.
I know that. Yes, we did that at my summer theater my first year. I wasn't in it, but I saw it. Yeah.
Bridges.
Yeah.
And I
what is it, Kalamazoo, Michigan?
Yes.
Has anyone heard of that musical, Dear Edwina? Anyone? It was a musical years ago that
very cute.
Ran short run, and they do it now. They have a children's version, and it's called Dear Edwina Jr.
And I was so nervous for the auditions. I listened to the score every single night, and I really wanted to be Edwina, and I was cast as Edwina. And I kind of say, after that, I was totally hooked. I had to do everything possible, any show, any play. Went to school for musical theater. So that's kind of how it started.
Where did you go to school for musical theater?
I went to Montclair State University in New Jersey.
Okay, nice. Any Montclair State people? Any Jersey people? Jersey?
Yes.
Okay.
I did a semester at Montclair State.
Nice.
Any other Jersey people in the house aside from me? Woo. Jersey boy. Well, I'm from Jersey. Yes, I'm from Jersey. Amazing. Well, I'm a Jersey boy at heart. I live here now, but welcome to all the Jersey people. I went to school not too far from there. I went to William Patterson University.
Oh,
So,
nice.
about-
Yeah, you're good neighbors.
What'd you say?
You did?
I did.
You went to Willie Pitt?
Yeah. Went for broadcast journalism. Graduated in 2018. I was near Montclair often. So, did you like it? They have a great theater program there.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I was, when you're applying to schools, I was like, oh, I don't know, NYU or Carnegie Mellon or looking at all these other schools. And then I was like, oh wow, it's really expensive, and I don't want to be $200,000 in debt when I'm making very little money as a stage performer. So I found Montclair State. They were affordable, and they also just seemed to really invest in each individual. And I just felt like a one of a kind there, and they really invested in us, and I got to do operas and plays and musicals, and it wasn't just a singular track, which was really cool. And then I had access to New York, so I started auditioning, coming at 4 a.m. to audition in the non-equity lines, and so I got to get all of that going before I graduated.
Well, speaking of auditioning and, non-equity lines, I say to all my guests here who are performers, I have such tremendous respect for all of you. I don't know how you all can do it. I did 6 months of an internship in casting, and I was tired for all of you watching. So I don't know how you all do it. I give you all tremendous respect. But talk about auditioning. In 2020, you landed a role in a little musical that not really is well known. I'm not sure if anyone's heard of it, West Side Story.
Yeah, so there's still little.
The recent revival, the Ave Btwn revival, and you understudied Maria. So how did that come about, and what was it like to make your Broadway debut? Tell us first sort of how the audition came about.
Oh my gosh, well, so random. I actually went to the open call and I didn't get called in. I hadn't tried to get my agents to submit me, nothing. And I was like, I have to do this show. I feel very, I wanted to bring my version of Maria, and I felt very strongly about it. And I had gotten to do a few regional productions. And I was taking a Shakespeare class, just, brushing up on my skills. And the teacher knew the music director. And they were still looking for Maria. And it was one of these really crazy things that they say, preparation and luck is preparation meets opportunity. So I was literally preparing, was literally in class, and they said they need someone, and they knew I just did West Side Story at the Guthrie in Minneapolis. And they put my name in, and I got an audition, and before I knew it, I had 9, I think, between work sessions and dance auditions, and I was scared shitless. Of course, it was my first Broadway, audition process ever, and I was really sick at the final, and I just remember being like, you know what, just give your version. That's all you can control. And the next day, they were like, yeah, so you'll definitely be in the show. And I was like, oh my God, I became my Broadway debut. And it's, I like to tell people that, it was from this class. It was from being kind to someone who saw my talent, and it was really lucky, and I'm so thankful to him.
Yeah, that is pure luck and being at the right place at the right time, and the preparation, hard work. Did anyone see the recent revival in 2020? It ran for a bit, before COVID happened. Yeah, it was really cool. It was a really cool. I didn't get it. I wanted to see it. I didn't get the chance to, but it was at the Broadway Theater, which that theater is huge, and
oh my gosh.
So that had to be incredible. But it was also like redone and sort of revised in an interesting way in how it was done.
Totally.
And so many people who saw it thoroughly enjoyed it and loved the reimagine. There's the word. Reimagined. And loved how that was done.
Yeah, Evo is very well known to kind of take these classics and just say, I don't care what's been done before. I'm putting my new spin on it, and we had this huge TV screen, and we did a lot of, it was kind of like going from film acting to stage and back and forth, because there were sets, in the theater and kind of behind the walls, and, you're doing this really intimate scene with cameras in the walls, and then you go out onto the Broadway theater stage, which is huge, and the audience is huge, and it was exhilarating. I made my Broadway debut. I think Dan, my fiance, would know this. I think I got called at 10 o'clock in the morning, the day of the show, and they were like, you're on at 2. And I was like, oh my God, okay. And I had been rehearsing in the basement of the theater, and I had done the show, so I knew my lines. I knew, I knew the songs, but I hadn't ever done the blocking and the dancing. And so I would rehearse it in the basement, and they're like, okay, what do you need? I said, okay, well, let me run all the safety, because, there's a gun on stage, and there's rain, and there's all of these things. I was like, I need to run everything for safety, but that's all the time I had. So I was like, okay, acting exercise. Maria's never gone to this dance. She's never fallen in love. She doesn't know what's gonna happen to her that day. Neither does Mia. Mia has no idea how it's gonna go. She doesn't know. She's never been in this spot on this stage and ran down these stairs to then sing this song. I just kind of had to really trust in myself, and it was terrifying, exhilarating, all at once.
That does sound. Let's give a round of applause for me for that, because that's incredible. But now that you have time to make your Broadway debut in that time, in that trust process, what did you, I mean, sitting in that trust feeling, what did you learn that you think you could offer those who are starting out on Broadway, like you were, who are making either their Broadway debut in the ensemble or in a role, regarding trust that helped you to sit in that and be able to take on this role when you had the experience because you've been in the show, but you hadn't yet played Maria?
No, I would say I did a lot of positive visualizations, because we as performers a lot of times can think, oh, I'm gonna crack on that note, I'm gonna suck, things are gonna be bad. So I thought, okay, let me imagine myself on stage, even, I would be in tech rehearsals and previews watching them, and I would imagine myself on that stage with full breath and full confidence. And I think the more I kept imagining the positive, that really helped then on the day. And something that carried me through, because being an understudy in a swing, it's like they say, the backbone. Even more so than Broadway, swings and understudies are so vital. Some of the most talented people I've ever met, because you don't get to rehearse, and then you have to be thrown on and give an even better show. Because when you go to open the playbill and you see understudy, people are like, oh, darn it. So you have to actually convince them and be like, no, I'm going to give you a full experience. I'm going to give you a full Maria.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of pressure in that way. But anyway, I kept telling myself it's not about getting attention, it's about paying attention and sitting on the side and really noticing and learning.
Yeah.
And it was humbling, it's challenging, because all you want to do is be on the stage. But I think it was a really valuable experience.
That's so great. Well, and it's interesting you say that about the understudy and swings, because in the industry, for those who may not be following, there was sort of this big appreciation effort that happened, that should have happened, with understudies and swings in the industry, due to a remark that was made by the president of the Broadway League. But I would say since then, the amount of love and respect and understanding I think that people have had for understudies and standbys and swings has been undeniable. And for me, I know, when I first started seeing theater years ago, I was that person who's like, oh, understudy, if the person was out. But if it was somebody big, right? But
Yeah,
nowadays,
sure.
I mean, with how I am these last 2-3 years, it's been refreshing to see an understudy. I'm like, this is so exciting. I mean, of course, I live in the city, so I can go see the show whenever, but to see someone's take on it, to see how they play it, and to see, and a lot of times afterwards, you find out that it was their first time going on to play the role, or, they hadn't played it much time before. So, I mean, that's really special to have been able to do that.
Yeah, and to just, those people who are on, they're savoring every moment, because then they have to go back to the dressing room and wait for their next shot. So I think it is a really, so anytime you do get to see a show with understudies, give them love. They are working so hard and they're so ridiculously talented. So, and swings, standbys, all
Yes, probably, yes. Copy that. Yes, all the love. So on our final thing on West Side Story, while COVID unfortunately did shutter the production, I wish it was still running. It was one of the ones we lost to COVID. What did you learn at your time in the role that will help you for the next role that you're in on Broadway?
I think I really, just the sheer stamina. I think keeping your body and your voice and your mind ready to go on, because I think, yes, I had a lot of experience in different shows at different regional theaters, but there's a bit of you're on Broadway, there's a bit of that to even your spirit that's like, oh my God, so I think it's just really preparing in every way, because I mean, I remember going to the gym, constantly just so I could pop in and not be out of breath, because those theaters are all so huge, and the stairs and everything. So I think just making sure that I am well trained. You know, I think that we're athletes. In musical theater, actors, stage performers are really athletes. You need to be prepared and practice. I think all of that practice helped me go on with such little rehearsal and feel like I could give my full Maria because of that. And to not wait, to try. Of course, it's nice when people give you rehearsal time,
Right.
but if you don't get that, you need to prepare yourself.
So beautiful, so well said. That is wonderful. Well, speaking of Broadway and Maria and singing, I know you've prepared 2 songs for us tonight. Why don't you tell us the first song you're going to be singing and grace us with some music?
Yes, so this is All I've Ever Known from Hadestown, and I just, on March 15th, released my debut album. Thank you, which is on Spotify, Apple Music, all the streaming services, so please listen. It was a complete labor of love that I did during the pandemic and really helped me, reflect and process on a lot of things in my own life, and All I've Ever Known is dedicated to my fiance, who really, we've been together for almost 10 years now. We were high school sweethearts, and this song, we stripped it down and it made a duet into a solo, and it's just a really special song.
Uh-oh, turn it off.
It's acapella now.
Acapella now, you know, it's okay.
Sorry.
I was alone so long, didn't even know that I was lonely. Out in the cold so long, didn't even know that I was cold. Turned my collar to the wind. This is how it's always been. All I've ever known is how to hold my own. All I've ever known is how to hold my own. But now I wanna hold you too. You take me in your arms and suddenly there's sunlight all around me. Everything bright and warm and shining like it never did before. And for a moment I forget just how dark and cold it gets. All I've ever known is how to hold my own. All I've ever known is how to hold my own. And now I wanna hold you. Now I wanna hold you close. I don't wanna ever have to let you go. Now I wanna hold you tight. I don't wanna go back to the lonely life. I don't know how or why, or who am I that I should get to hold you. 'Cause when I saw you all alone against the skies, like I know you all along. I knew you before we met, and I don't even know you yet. All I know is you're someone I have always known. All I know is you're someone I have always known. And I don't even know you. Now I wanna hold you close. I don't wanna ever have to let you go. it warm. Suddenly I'm holding the world in my arms. Say that you'll hold me forever. Say that the wind won't change on us. Say that we're still each other's, and it will always be like this. I'm gonna hold you forever. The wind will never change on us, long as we stay each other, and it will always be like this.
Very nice.
Wow, oh my goodness, Mia, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, amazing, amazing. Before we go on, I just want to take a minute again to thank tonight's sponsors. Harvey Firestein's I Was Better Last Night. They've donated 4 signed copies of his new New York Times bestselling memoir. Details his whole life. For those of you who may know him from Hairspray, The Cause of Fall. You've seen him on TV. He's wonderful. And I also have tonight's other sponsor, which is it's for the Little Match Girl, the concert. They're giving away a pair of tickets, which is on Friday, April 8th. Led by a Broadway cast, the iconic tale of the Little Match Girl returns to New York City on Friday, April 8th. The special one-night concert will be presented as a benefit for UNICEF USA and their ongoing efforts in Ukraine. So you'll get a pair of tickets for that shortly at our Broadway Trivia. And if you love what you see here, you'll see on your tables, on your bar, there is a Venmo code. If you love this, feel free to drop a donation of any amount, and let's help keep this show going. So again, Mia, thank you. That was beautiful, beautiful. And so you recently, as you said, wrote an album, which is so exciting.
Well, they are all covers, but they're reimagined.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
Release it out,
reimagined,
yes.
stripped down versions of all of these songs. I say I have an inspiration train Google Keep like notes where I put all of these songs that just like sucker punch me in a good way, like in a gosh, this is so true, or this is so beautiful, or I relate to this in such a powerful way. And when I had all this time during the pandemic, I always just thought, man, it would be so cool to have an album, but you know, you're like, well, how do I do that? And it's probably expensive, and how do I even begin? But I think it was like January of 2021, and I was lying awake at night, who knows what hour, just thinking maybe I should try to do this. And I reached out to an arranger, a dear friend, Alex Thompson, who did all of the beautiful arrangements, mixed, mastered. I didn't realize he works at B&B Studios in Chapel Hill, which is like a recording. He like does this. So I was like, wow, I have someone in my corner who can help me produce this and get this going. And so yeah, we just kind of stripped down all of these beautiful songs and just to voice and piano, and it was kind of telling the story about me growing up, not like necessarily me as a little Mia, but like the growing up that I'm doing now and looking back at my childhood. And so it was a very emotional but powerful journey making it.
Well, and the album is cleverly called Growing Up as well, which is, and it was, yes, not an album you've written, but a cover. So forgive me for that. But yes, it's called Growing Up, and it's your debut album. And it's so interesting. You said it was recorded last winter, and you did it all on Zoom. I mean, that's kind of incredible, folks. I mean, I'm sure we all have Zoom fatigue from this last 2 years. I know we probably all loathe getting on a Zoom meeting. But could you imagine recording a song on Zoom? And it sounds, I mean, when she said that in an interview I read, I couldn't believe it. When you hear the album, which again, Growing Up, wherever you stream your music you can listen to, I could not believe that was done on Zoom, because it is just, it's crystal clear, it's beautiful, and I don't know how you have the time or the patience to do that.
Well, we did. I mean, what we did is through Zoom, we would collaborate and kind of, figure out the arrangements. And there was this link, it was audio moves, listen to. I remember Alex being like, I'll send you the listen to link. So I click on this link, and then I could hear his in real time piano. So there was no lag. and I was able to, comment in real time on my thoughts, and we were collaborating on the arrangements. And so then he recorded everything, and then I, at a friend's house, recorded the vocal to the piano as if it was a karaoke track, and then they mixed them, and it sounds like we're in the same room, and they did a gorgeous job of mastering, and yeah, it's wild. I'm so proud of it. I couldn't believe when it came out on March 15th and it's on Spotify, I was like, oh my gosh, it really can happen. You can just say, I want to do this thing, and tell someone, and they'll hold you accountable. And then boom, it can happen. It's great.
Yes, and it did. It is incredible. And I love the title Growing Up. And I'm curious, did you have any growth during the album? Like, did you grow up a little bit more during the album, or any growth from writing this?
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, it was, it came out, I was thinking actually when I thought, oh, I should make an album. I've always liked little things. Like when I was little, like, I don't know, little trinkets, but also songs about like little moments in life that are big, it's like what makes life special, these little moments. So that's what I thought it was going to be about. But then I was really reflecting, being in my hometown, being, where I grew up on the, roads that I grew up on, and just really reflecting on some things that had happened in my childhood. And I was like, I think the album has to be about that, about what I'm actively discovering and actively processing through. And the songs that are on the album kind of just came together. I can't even explain it. It was like, the first track is Stand Tall by Childish Gambino, and we do a very stripped down ballad arrangement. I mean, it's a fantastic song. Please go listen to it. It's like this funktastic, amazing song.
It's great.
And we do a very, like, a melancholic, epic ballad, and it just kind of sets the tone for the rest of the album. So we have anything from Childish Gambino, John Mayer, Sondheim, Rodgers and Hart, Chance the Rapper. There's like a little bit of a song he has. Like, it has a kind of eclectic mix of songs, but Alex arranged them to all sound just like this cohesive, beautiful project. And but yes, I learned. I was like, what? The question. I feel like I learned, and I keep learning. Like, I'll listen to the album, and I still continue to have realizations, and things continue to hit me, and it's just, it goes deep. It really, it talks about some, Stop This Train, John Mayer. It's like your parents growing up and aging, and you wanting to be home. A song I'm going to be singing later, I'll give a little more context, but that song's about my mom, and it just, it really hits home in
really
another ways.
It's ones, I was gonna say, they're all songs that really touch you in some way, hit home, that have some sort of special meaning in your life growing up. That's really beautiful. Well, on also that note of performing, not only were you on Broadway, you were also one of the, I want to say, handful of performers, because not many got to welcome back Broadway and reopen theater. You got to be one of the few people that welcomed back theater in September when you reopened Paper Mill Playhouse in their Songs for a New World, the reopening of their new season, which was incredible. I got to see it. What was it like to work at Paper Mill Playhouse? And it was so funny because I realized later on when Liz, shout out to Liz Scholar, who had booked you on here, I was like, oh my God, I forgot that. I didn't realize that when I saw Mia Pinero, then I'm like, oh my God, I saw her in Songs for a New World. It was such a great show. What was that experience like?
Thank you. Wild. I mean, I had always wanted to work there. I had auditioned. Again, I had woken up at 4 a.m. for their West Side Story, and I waited in line, and I think I got like 6 o'clock in the evening, and God. I, didn't get a call back, or definitely didn't get a job. And, it was somewhere I always wanted to work. And West Side Story closed, and Dan and I had a breakthrough case of COVID, and I just was like, okay, what, added to the list. This is a really crappy week. And the next day after West Side Story closed, I got an email, and it was like, we'd like you to do Woman One and Songs for a New World.
Wow.
And it was like a door closed, a window opened, and the song or the show is so much about like new beginnings, or at least Woman One is so about like charging forward and wanting to make a new start. And it was just really, really awesome to play that role. I was terrified to sing any of those songs in college. Like, horrified. And so then I was like, I'm on the paper mill stage singing these songs that I never thought I would sing. And, you know.
They've got some beautiful songs. And Jason Robert Brown, who writes songs for New World, is a beautiful composer. I mean, they've got some great ones.
Stunning. And Georgia Stitt was music supervisor, and she's an incredible composer, and it was wonderful to have her in the room. But yeah, going from your couch and then retraining, like I said, I had to kind of retrain to get back on stage, but you have that moment where you're like, oh my God, I'm under lights. I haven't been here in 2 years.
Yeah.
So I think it was just a readjustment. We rehearsed in masks. I mean, Carolee Carmello was in it, which she's like an idol of mine. So just to work with her was so wild. We had an amazing cast.
Wow.
It was really special.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's such a great cast. Has anyone been to the Paper Mill Playhouse in North Jersey? Anyone see shows?
It's amazing.
It is. It's an amazing show. What have you seen there? Aside from just okay. Well, that counts. I love it. It's a beautiful theater if you get the chance. It's a regional theater. It won the Tony Award in 2016, I believe, for Best Regional Theater, and they've done some incredible shows, and most of the shows I don't say most, but a lot of them transferred to Broadway. So Disney's The Little Mermaid opened there and then went to Broadway. Newsies, which was supposed to be a limited run at Paper Mill Playhouse, became so popular it transferred to Broadway. So they've had quite a few things. I mean, a View from a Bridge, I think they've had quite a few. So it's a great theater for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's incredible. And what did it mean to you to be a part of the reopening? What did it mean for you personally as a performer after 18 months of having this darkness?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because it just the feeling of being at home in Wisconsin, being like, when is New York coming back? When are theaters going to open? We just didn't know. And I just missed the sound of piano, like rehearsal piano, and the sound of an audience clapping. And in both an exhilarating way and sometimes slightly terrifying, Woman One starts the show center stage, and you know my voice opened the whole thing. So I was lucky enough to hear every night when the announcement was, it was something like, "And Paper Mill's back," like Paper Mill's open, and everyone would start cheering, and you're just like, wow, I miss this, but all of these audience members miss this so dearly. Like we need to be in spaces together. We miss that connection and the power theater has. So that was so powerful. I mean, anything I was feeling before the show, when I heard the applause and just thought about each person in the audience and the kind of 2 years plus we've all had, I can't even say. It was really, really powerful.
That's wonderful. It was powerful to be there. It was powerful to see. So tell us, what's this second song now that you're going to be singing? As we continue to talk more about singing, what are you going to be singing for us?
So this is I've Grown Accustomed to Her Face from My Fair Lady. And now Eliza Doolittle doesn't sing this song, even though I got to play her, and I was always jealous of Henry Higgins because he gets to sing it. But this is another arrangement off of my album Growing Up, and this song is probably one of the most important tracks on the album because it gets to that I got to go back and during the pandemic live with my mom, who I hadn't gotten to live with that for that length of time since I was 9 years old. And we got this really powerful, special time together. And it kind of explores just when you get this day-to-day with someone again, and you don't want to let it go, and so it's all context. I've grown accustomed to her face. She almost makes the day begin. I've grown accustomed to the tune she whistles night and noon. Her smiles, her frowns, her ups, her downs are second nature to me now. Like breathing out, breathing in. I grown accustomed to her look, accustomed to her voice, accustomed to her face. Now I'm so used to hear her say good morning every day. Her joys, her woes, her highs, her lows are second nature to me now. Like breathing out and breathing in. I'm very grateful she's a woman, never easy to forget. Never just a habit one can always break. Yes, I've grown accustomed to the trace of something in the air. Accustomed to her
Gosh, I love that version. You did that. That's beautiful. Another round of applause for Mia, everyone. Wow, yes, that was beautiful. Wow. Teacher, I love the take on that. It's, you don't hear it like that, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because the original is so like, women, and I guess she's fine. I'm okay with her being around. And it's such a stunning song. Learn From Low, I absolutely adore. And I was like, I gotta steal that, and I want it on my album, and I'm going to reimagine it.
Yes.
In a beautiful way.
Well, that's exactly what you did. You reimagined it for sure. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, now is one of my most favorite times of the night. It is trivia time. And as I said, tonight's sponsor for Broadway Trivia is Harvey Firestein's I Was Better Last Night. I'm giving away 4 signed copies. So here's how this works. I'm going to read the trivia questions. There's 4 of them, and then a bonus one later for this ticket. And if you know the answer, raise your hand. Whoever puts their hand up, I'll call on just so it's easier, so that way there's no cheating and stuff. And again, these are for 4 hand-signed copies of Harvey Firestein's award-winning New York Times, well, not award-winning, but New York Times best-selling memoir. All right, first question. What part of Brooklyn was Harvey Firestein born in? What part of Brooklyn was Harvey Firestein born in? Was it, you've heard of it before. It's got a very interesting last name. It almost sounds like liverwurst. Yes, Bensonhurst. Congrats, Michael. Raise your hand. But yes. Here you go. Here you go, Michael. Signed copy for you. You get a book and you get a book. Yes, Bensonhurst. Signed copy of Harvey Firestein's new book. All right, second question. Now, please, again, just shoot your hand up, just so I know. I want to make sure we get everyone who wants to answer. What show marked Harvey Firestein's Broadway debut in 1983?
George Song Trilogy.
That's right. It was George Song Trilogy. Here you go, my love. You get a signed copy of Harvey Firestein's I Was Better Last Night. You get a book, and you get a book. You all get a book. Fabulous. Well, enjoy it. There's a lot of good things in there. You have to read it. In fact, he also has an audiobook, so that might be cool to listen to as well in his voice.
My ears are ready.
I love it. All right, so for the third question, what new revival is Harvey Firestein currently rewriting the book for?
Funny Girl.
Yes, Funny Girl. Oh, that's all right. It's all right. Congrats, Mia. Here you go. Fabulous. That's all right. Congratulations. All righty. We have 1 book left, which means we have 1 trivia question left. This is for the final signed copy of Harvey Firestein's memoir. Really good book, all hand signed right from the publishing company themselves. I went there and picked them up on my own. Okay. Harvey Firestein co-starred alongside Robin Williams in this hit 90s movie about the humorous British nanny. What was the movie? Oh, yes, darling, it was Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello! Here you go, a signed copy for you. Oh, yes, Eugenia. What's her name? Euphigenia Doubtfire here. Congratulations, congratulations. And we have a bonus round of trivia. This is for 2 tickets to the Little Match Girl. Let me get my paper here for you. And this is for April 8th. So if you're available April 8th at 7:30 at the Nave at Riverside Church, this is for 2 tickets. Alrighty, so this question, I mentioned some shows that were opening on Tuesday of this coming week, on the 29th. Name one of the 4 shows that's opening on Broadway on Tuesday that I listed at the top of the show. One of the 4 shows opening Tuesday.
American Buffalo?
That already opened, close. I mentioned 4 at the top of the show. Casey, what have any guesses? What was one of the 4 shows at the top of the show that I mentioned that are opening on Tuesday?
Saturday Night.
Yes, Mr. Saturday Night. Amazing. Here you go. At the end, just give me your. I just need your name and email, and that way I give it to the people at Little Match Girl. So congratulations! Look, she's a special guest. She gets 2 prizes. So
It's not fair. I'm
No,
in the industry. I should know some of these things.
no, it's not. No, you don't have to know. I mean, believe me. Listen, I have so many guests here who know questions, don't know it. Just because you're in the industry, you'd be surprised. Not everyone knows it. So let's give a round of applause for everyone. Congratulations. Big round of applause to our winners who won the signed copies. Oh, I'm so happy. One of my biggest giveaways to date. And Mia is going home with a signed copy and tickets to the show. Woo! Just before you leave, throw your email and name on there, and I'll give it over to Michael at Little Match Girl. And a little bit more about Little Match Girl. For those who don't know, it's New Year's Eve, and Little Match Girl is forced onto the streets to sell matches to support her family. Cold and alone, her wondrous imagination takes her away from the harsh realities and struggle of her daily life. Armed with matchsticks and music, she finds the hope we all need in The Little Match Girl. The iconic story by Hans Christian Andersen returns to New York City as it comes to life in this brand new musical concert adaptation with a stunning contemporary score filled with soaring melodies.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It's going to be really good. It's going to be really, really good. So you were recently seen on our TV screens on Law & Order. You made your television debut, right?
I did.
So
Angelica on Law & Order.
yes, how was that? What was that process like? And I have to admit, I haven't watched Law & Order in ages.
Don't worry.
And so but I want to catch your episode. Is it reoccurring or your role? What was the role of Angelica?
It was just one episode, and it was hilarious because you get these auditions and you think they don't go anywhere. And this specific one, I was like, oh, I've done better. And my fiance was helping me with it. And he was like, well, it's Law and Order. It doesn't have to be incredible. And I got the job. I laughed. No, it was great. So I read for the wife, but then they wanted me to play the ex-wife. And I got to do a scene with Ice-T, Jason Biggs from American Pie, and then, oh my gosh, and then another Broadway performer and then another guy. So it was really fun. I mean, it was totally different.
Mm-hmm.
You barely have rehearsal. You kind of get thrown on set, and they're like, okay, yeah, here, go to this spot and action. So it was very fast. It was really fun. And it's funny because we did the scene like 25 times. And then you look at the episode and it goes by like that. You see me, I have a few lines, and then it's done. But it was really fun and just, I don't know, I feel like a rite of passage. They always say, if you're really a New York actor, be on Law & Order.
I was going to say, you're now officially a New York actor.
Yeah, I was like, Broadway check, but Law & Order, now I'm really legit. So.
That's really legit. Oh, that's exciting. What was Jason Biggs doing? Was he just a co-star for the episode, or was he?
Yeah, he was. I don't think he's reoccurring. I think it was just for that episode. But it was so cool to work with him and Ice-T. I mean, Ice-T gave me a whole pep talk. It was awesome.
Thank you guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night. That is so cool. Did you get to see a new Mariska Hargitay, Olivia Benson?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't. My scene, she wasn't there.
It's a shame.
I just had a single scene. It was at Angelica's house, and I don't want to give too much information.
No, I get
It'll
that.
spoil the episode.
Well, when's the episode out?
It came out January 6th.
Oh, okay, cool.
There you go.
Well, I'll have to watch it. Well, could you tell me though a fun story though from being on set? I know you didn't get to meet Olivia Benson, but what was a fun set story that you have or experience in that process? Because I mean, to be on set for a day. I mean, you really get the royal treatment on there, I'm sure.
Well, that's what's funny. I didn't know what to expect. And so I had heard there's all of this food and, you can have, breakfast. So I went there. This was really silly of me. I should have eaten breakfast, but I was like, oh, they'll have food. They always say there's tons of food. They wrapped up breakfast. So I was like, oh crap. Like I'm going to be starving and not remember my lines. But then one of my co-actors, he was like, oh, you can just ask, what do you want? Do you want a kind bar, a banana, vitamin water? I was like, I can just ask for anything. And he was like, yeah. So then I was like, what he's having. Because, as theater performers, you're always just like, I don't know, you don't ask for much, but it was a really funny thing where he was like, oh yeah, ask for a snack. We're going to hang out. And yes, and I think I just learned that it's just so much time. It's like you get there and you just sit for 30 minutes, and then they'll knock on your door and say, hey, hair and makeup soon, and you're like, and then another 30 minutes, and then they'll bring in hair and makeup.
Oh my goodness.
And they did say, they were like, have you changed over? And I was like, oh, I don't know what that means. They're like, oh, just did you get into your costume? And I was like, oh, I feel like I looked so green the entire day. I was like, changed over, what do you mean? I don't know what that means.
I'm sure you're gonna believe. I'm sure you're not the first and not the last person that has asked that, or
Yeah, but it was really fun, and and then we were walking to set, and Jason Biggs kind of met up with us, and I was like, oh hey, what's up? Trying to be totally casual.
Was he nice?
Super nice.
Oh, that's good.
Very, I don't want to give too much away, but I did get arrested. I guess I'll just say, not because of my fault. It's not my fault that I got arrested. But he was just, very nice. Like, he's like, is it okay? Am I grabbing this too hard? Like, how do you feel about this? Like, he was very communicative, very nice.
What a gentleman.
Such a gentleman. I know.
And someone very also aware of your space, and that was really nice.
Yeah, it was super nice. And it was also really cool because you're on a physical street with real cop cars and real sound. And it looks like, real bomb squads coming in. Whereas on stage, you have to come up with a lot of this in your imagination. Yes, the set is behind you and it's gorgeous, but in front of you is just the dark space in the audience. So it was really interesting to just be on set and be able to take in all of the information. And I felt like you could just be in the moment that way.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Well, and a fun fact, I didn't work personally on Law & Order, but my first job out of college, I was working at extras casting at the Central Casting that does law, and one of the shows is Law and Order. So I got to sort of see firsthand of sort of how it works. But they provide. There are people who have cop uniforms that that are background actors, and they have and if you get a certain bump if you have a EMT outfit or a police outfit, but they have actual people who have that, or they provide the police car. It's so crazy, and it's a monster of a beast of a show, but it's very interesting. They have it all blocked off. They use real cars, real scenes. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool. And they also they kind of held us in an apartment that they cleared out. So they paid whomever lives in the apartment to basically clear it all out just for us to sit in those little, the little chairs that you see that have, it says Law and Order on the back.
Yes.
So we're all sitting in the little chairs in someone's living room probably. And you're just they just rented this whole thing out. And we're just chilling in there, and Ice-T is telling us, stories, and it just was so ridiculous. I just remember thinking, I'm so glad that I pursued this, because I never would be in this position. It just was such a random, fun, exciting thing. And then it was one day, and then you're done, and I think the next day I had a catering interview. So, I was really living the New York actor life that week.
Well, I'm sure it won't be the last time you're on TV for sure. I can guarantee you that. And hopefully you'll be back again on Law & Order. But I'm sure with your talent, you'll be back on our screen sometime soon for sure. I can guarantee you that. Do you have a dream role that you want to play?
It's so hard for me to narrow down. I mean, there's so many. I would love to, recently I because I auditioned for it and I was like, oh, I really wanted Amalia and She Loves Me. I love that role. Eliza in Hamilton, Linda in Wicked. Anything Sondheim. I know
Of
that's
course,
so
of
basic, but I'm
course.
just like Joanna and Sweeney Todd, Dot someday, Into the Woods. I would love to. Cinderella or Baker's Wife. I'm giving you a lot of roles.
No, I love it. It's all
Whoever's
good.
Listening.
It's good to have
Who wants
options.
to cast me?
Yeah, right. Who's watching? Who can? I mean, no, but it's good to have those options. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I want to play sort of all of them. It sounds like, and that's wonderful. It's good to have that.
Yeah, and I definitely, I feel like I was always drawn to a lot of the classical, Maria and Sound of Music, or Maria and West Side Story was the like, oh, I really want to do this, and now I've done it enough time.
Yeah.
I was like, I can put that to bed. And maybe a different Maria, again, Sound of Music, something else.
I love that. Amazing. Well, as we wrap up here, Mia, where can we keep up with you, follow you? Where can we keep up with what you're doing and what you're doing next?
Yeah, so I keep my socials pretty updated. So at Mia Pinero on Instagram, Mia Pinero on Twitter, as well as miapinero.com.
Amazing.
I keep up on anything I'm doing and.
Fun. Do you have anything coming up that you can share? Any shows or concerts or roles or?
Well, I just finished up doing yoga play in North Carolina, so I just got back, and then I did my debut concert at 54 Below for my album release. But next Friday, I'm going to be doing Hide and Seek. It's a new musical and concert at 54 Below. So that's next Friday. And then it's just, it's kind of figuring it out. I just kind of landed back and I'm, seeing what's up next.
Wow. That's so exciting. Well, listen, thank you so much, Mia. Let's give a round of applause for Mia and for our sponsors tonight, Harvey Firestein, I Was Better Last Night. Thank you to Casey. And before we go, I do have a big announcement to make regarding the show. I want to make this big announcement that tonight is my final show here of Live with Rye and Friends at Bar 9. It has been an incredible 6 months here, and I am beyond grateful and thankful to have been able to bring this show, this one-of-a-kind talk show to you every Thursday night, give it a life as we reopen Broadway. But don't worry, this is not the end of the road for me or my talk show. Join me at my new home, the Broadway Makers Marketplace at the Turnstile Underground Market at Columbus Circle, Sundays from 6 to 7 p.m. starting April 10th. The Broadway Makers Marketplace is for fans, by Broadway fans, and is a pop-up shop, and I'm thrilled for the opportunity to bring my show there. I just have to give everyone a big thank you here at Bar 9 for this wonderful experience, for everything that you've done for the show. Let's give them a round of applause. Eternally grateful. Please continue to keep up with me on social media at Rye_Myers to see more of what I'm doing. Thank you so much. And for the final time, good night. Thank you.
Cheers!
Cheers.
I'm so excited. Oh, that's on.